Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to the 𝗥𝗵𝗲 show. Thank you for always tuning in. This is your time, and you guys, you're always here to listen, learn, and grow. And this is what it's all about. Because when you are growing and learning, this is the time to implement as to, for your life as well, success in life and business. And Rhea and I, we want to educate you. We want to make sure that you are, equipped with everything that you need to know. So before I do go ahead, I'm going to be leading the conversation today. But before I do go and start, I just want to welcome each and every one of you. And my name is 𝗥𝗵𝗲.
My name is Rhea, and
And
welcome
welcome
to
to our show. So today I want to talk about taking quantum leaps. Now, I'm just going to share my screen and taking quantum leaps. Well, first of all, what does that mean? And what does that mean? And what do you plan to do about it? Because if you remember last week when I spoke about I talked about that, it comes down to your mindset, especially when it comes to your mindset. And this is the most, the fundamentals to really taking the quantum leap. So today I want to talk about taking the quantum leap. Now, how do you even do that? So taking the quantum leap simply means that you are taking, number one, you are taking chances, you are taking risks to improve the circumstances in life or business. So I want to just I just want to ask you that most of you are, you're in your 9 to 5 job, or most of you you have a business. Now I just wanted to just ask you, when you think of the quantum, and if you recall the many conversations that we've had, I talked about the knowing doing gap. Now the knowing doing gap, right? The knowing doing gap. Now, if you remember what that was, because the knowing doing gap simply also will imply, where are we at that point in our lives? Where are we? So if you're here and you are aspiring to be here, there's a road, there's a map. And these are the steps that you want to take to get here. And I also then just want to illustrate a very simple diagram. It's a stick figure that I really love, because it was developed by a Viennese psychologist. And this stick figure really represents as to where you are in your life, and where you are in your life, whether you are taking the chances, whether you are taking those risks, whether, to really elevate your life. And I'm sure most of you don't want to stay in your 9 to 5 job. I'm sure most of you want to get into a business. Maybe most of you want to do, X, Y, Z, whatever that is for you. So what the Viennese psychologist, what he said was that, our mind, so it comes down to, anytime, when we talk about the knowing doing gap, when we talk about, taking those risks, taking those chances to, elevate your life, as to what are you doing? So when it comes to elevation of your life, number one, the most important is your mindset. Because your mindset, and if I do the illustration, your mindset, right? So this is your conscious and this is your subconscious. And this is your body. So your body, whatever your mind thinks, your body is automatically going to translate, right? It's going to translate to what your body is going to translate to what your mind is thinking. And at your conscious mind, this is your intellectual mind. Your intellectual mind. And yet your subconscious mind, this is where this is the most important, because this is your feeling and your emotional. So without operating on a mindset that will really, and this is where, this is your, I'm sorry, this is your body, right? So if you take a look as to where you are in your life today, why are you not taking those chances? And I just want to ask you can drop it in the chat. Why do you feel you're not taking those chances, right? Feeling. Because everything that you want to do, everything that pretty much is stopping you. And number two, when we talk about the mindset, which you want to operate in to take those chances, right? To take the chances in your life. Like, for example, so you might ask, okay, well, what are the chances that I need to take? Well, the example of chances could be a business that you want to get into, that you've always wanted. It's a dream business. But you may not know anything about that business, but then are you willing to take the chance to learn about? Are you willing to take the chance to research as to what would entail to create a successful business, right? And so those are the chances. That's chances. And what are the risks? Well, the risks is mitigated in the loss that you might make in the business. The risk is to never attempt to take that chance. So chances and risk, it goes hand in hand because one leads to another and off of what the other. So if you never take the chance, if you always kind of sit back and have circumstances come to you, right? And you're not willing to do anything about it, then how are you going to be successful? And this is the same thing. The knowing, doing gap is the same thing. You are here. You are, maybe you're complacent in not doing or taking the step to do that, to reach to that goal that you have desired for. You're complacent, you're not willing to take the risk or the chance to bet on you that yes, you can do it, and you feel scared, you're intimidated by other people, that they're more successful than you. But you know everything, and yet you don't want to do everything or anything. So this is where the knowing, doing gap is so important, and it's just so relevant for me to talk about the subject of taking the quantum leap in every area of your life. Because if you're never willing to take chances, if you're never willing to take the risks that's required of you, then you will stay where you are. And this is what the clear example, you will just stay where you are, and you will never accomplish where you want to be, because you've not allowed yourself the possibility, the potential that you have to do so much. You've never allowed yourself, even though you know what you should be doing and you know exactly what has to be done, but oftentimes, we get caught up in our mind. Oh, well, I don't think I can do this. Oh, I don't think I can be successful. and your mindset. When you affirm to yourself the negative, oh, but I can't be successful, but oh, I don't think I can succeed, all that negative, that you're just wasting all that energy, that precious energy, you will never do it, because you've already set yourself up to not be successful, right? And so this is why this stick figure with the psychologist, this is why he talked about that your conscious mind is your intellectual mind. Just be careful of what you feed and your subconscious. This is where we live. This is where we live in, because it's our feeling and emotional, everything that we are feeling. If we're feeling, sad, bad, if we're feeling any of those negative, emotions, right? Then we will never be able, simply put, to reach to as to where we want to go. So I'm just going to stop it right there, because I know this is actually really quite deep. And so I just want to make sure that, we all just are on the same page as to, where we want to be. And I always really want to, really want to help you and guide you as to, that process, what it takes. And I know for me, it just took a very long time for me, for me to even get to, things that I wanted to do. But what I wanted to do required taking chances. That what I wanted to do required taking risks. Because any one of us, Ria, all of us, we go and we do it, and that's the most important. That's a dividing equation, formula, simply put, between people who are at that, the knowing doing gap that I showed you, as to where you are on the AM dial, but you want to go on the FM because you have that potential to go there and to do it, but you're scared. And when we have those emotions that, oh, we're scared, oh, what people think of us, people will judge us, and how dare they, and all those negative emotions come in, then that's what happens. Then we just don't do it. So I am going to stop it right there, because I know it's really quite deep, and it takes a while to really comprehend as to what I'm just talking about, what I've just shared, when it comes to your mindset and your mind, as to what you really need to feed it to be able to take that quantum leap in your lives, and to and to do everything, knowing, doing, knowing, doing, knowing. It is the same thing. If you know, then you should be doing. But then if you're doing and you kind of fall back and say, well, do I know that? Do I really know that? And then you just don't do it, because you're now guessing yourself out of not doing what is required of you.
Thank you, 𝗥𝗵𝗲. When you were sharing about, the mindset, what made me think about is the
yes,
where a lot of us, some do and some don't.
Yeah.
Because of it, what came into my mind is the a pot of boiling water, and it's in a stove, right? So it's boiling, and then you put your hand into it, and then you got burned. So there's a reflex that, hey, I'm not gonna touch it. So that made me think, a lot of times people, it's like that hot boiling water when they do something, whether it's in their business or some kind of decision in their life, that once they feel the pain, once they get burned, they have the reflex automatically not to touch it or not to try it again. But as we know, in life and in business, right, there's always going to be risk, and it is painful. Life is hard, life is painful. And so what one of the mentors told us, whether you do it, whether you don't, it's going to be hard. So just go ahead and do it. That what really separates us from people who do and from people who don't is that we've got to learn to just put our hand back into that hot, boiling water. But now we equip with ourselves with, a protection, a hand cover, or some paper, cloth, to hold it, right? So that means we've got to equip ourselves with knowledge, with education, as we venture out and make those decisions in life and in business. Because, you know, it just reminds us that we are alive, and that's why it is painful and it is hard, because we are.
Oh, thank you so much, Ria, for sharing that. That is so great. Yeah, absolutely. You know that definitely is, because yes, life is painful. Yes, if you put your hand in the boiling water and then or stove, immediately you're gonna that's that reflection. It's just a human reaction when something is hot. Oh my gosh, you just kind of feel, oh, what just happened? But then, as you just said, amazing point is that, to be sensitized, you need to do that thing, because now you're becoming sensitized, right? To that hot water, sensitized to that thing. And whatever that thing is, I want you to do it, because don't be afraid of, as I say, got to take that chance, take that risk, but you got to do it. And as my the last call that we had, I talked about doing things, adventuring to things that you find is difficult, adventuring to things that it's impossible. But the mere word impossible is I am possible. Yes, you are possible, and yes, you can. So if you are possible, and yes, you can do it, you got to do it. So Ria, that's a good point. Yes, you got to be sensitized enough that you now are going to do it, and then then automatically it's just second nature, and then you think, oh wow, okay, then I've confronted this, and then look for more things to confront. So absolutely, thanks for sharing that, Ria. And so on that point, we've come to an end of another amazing show. Thank you so much for always tuning in, and make the rest of the day the best of your day, because every day is the best. So make it the best. And as I said, when Ria and I are sharing with you, implement on what you've learned, right? This is how success really happens. So make the rest of the day the best of your day, and we will see you same time tomorrow morning. Bye for now.